Sunlight struggles to pierce the thick canopy above. Ancient trees, gnarled and stooping, crowd close, their branches intertwining. The forest floor, a tapestry of moss and shadow, muffles every footstep. Deeper inside, the mist swirls, coiling around tree trunks like living tendrils. The silence is absolute, broken only by the drip of condensation from unseen leaves. This is a place untouched by time, where the modern world feels a distant dream. The only sounds are the whispers of the wind through the trees and the rustle of unseen creatures. It is a place of both beauty and terror, where the line between the real and the unreal blurs. Shadows dance in the mist, and whispers seem to emanate from the trees themselves. A place where one might easily lose their way, both physically and mentally. A narrow path winds through the dense undergrowth, barely visible beneath a carpet of fallen leaves. There are no signs, no markers, only the promise of the unknown. The trail twists and turns, leading ever deeper into the heart of the forest. The trees press closer, their branches forming an archway overhead. The air grows colder, damper, the silence even more profound. The path is treacherous, littered with roots and stones hidden beneath the leaves. But for those who dare to venture further, the forest holds an undeniable allure. A sense of unease settles upon the soul, a feeling that something is watching. The shadows seem to deepen, the mist to thicken, as if the forest itself is closing in. The mist muffles all sound, creating an unsettling silence. Beneath the natural sounds, there's something else. A whisper, faint and indistinct, carried on the wind. It's a sound that sends shivers down the spine, speaking of ancient secrets and forgotten things. The whispers grow louder, more insistent, coming from all around. They are no longer the sound of the wind, but of voices murmuring, chanting, calling. Fear, primal and instinctive, takes hold. The forest is no longer a place of beauty and wonder, but a menacing presence, alive and malevolent. The mist swirls and eddies, and for a moment a shape seems to form within it. A tall, gaunt figure with glowing eyes. Four friends, their backpacks laden with supplies, step onto the unmarked path. Leading the way is Mark, experienced hiker, his confidence radiating outward. Next to him walks Anna, eager to capture the forest's beauty through her camera lens. Trailing slightly behind are David and Jessica, their laughter echoing through the silent woods. They joke about the eerie mist, their voices echoing strangely in the stillness. To them it is an adventure, a chance to escape the mundane and embrace the wildness of nature. They move deeper into the forest, the sunlight fading behind them, yet their spirits remain high, their laughter a beacon of life in the heart of the unknown. They are oblivious to the danger that lurks within the mist, to the eyes that watch them from the shadows. The path winds deeper into the forest, the trees pressing closer. The air grows heavy, the silence oppressive. The laughter of the hikers fades, replaced by the rhythmic thud of their footsteps. The forest has begun to work its magic, weaving its way into their thoughts, planting seeds of unease. Mark, his confidence shaken, consults the compass, but it spins aimlessly. He tries to retrace their steps, but the path seems to shift and change, leading them further astray. The shadows seem to hold hidden shapes, the whispers of the wind morphing into menacing murmurs. Panic begins to set in. The path, their lifeline back to the familiar, has vanished. They are hopelessly lost, trapped in a labyrinth of trees and mist. Mark, his voice strained, tries to reassure the others, but his words ring hollow. Anna clutches her camera, her knuckles white, her breath catching in her throat. David and Jessica huddle close, their faces pale. their laughter a distant memory. A twig snaps. They whirl around, their hearts pounding, but there is nothing there. They are being watched, hunted, and the forest itself seems to hold its breath. Silence hangs heavy, broken only by the frantic rasp of their breath. The hikers huddle closer, eyes darting, searching the swirling mist. Each rustle of leaves, each snap of a twig sends shivers down their spines. "Did you hear that?" Anna whispers, her voice trembling. Mark strains his ears. Hear what? It's just the wind. His words lack conviction. Even he can sense the change. The forest is no longer indifferent, it's aware of them. Jessica shivers, pulling her jacket tighter. It sounded like someone was whispering my name. David puts a comforting arm around her, but his gaze betrays his own fear. "We need to keep moving," Mark says, his voice tight. "The longer we stay here, the more likely we are to die." They push through the undergrowth, branches snagging at their clothes. The air grows colder, thick with the metallic scent of blood. A low growl rumbles through the trees, sending a jolt of terror through them. What was that? Anna gasps, her voice barely audible. Mark's face is pale, his jaw clenched. "I don't know, but it's close. Stay together. Don't wander off." The mist swirls, parting for a moment to reveal a fleeting glimpse of something massive, a glimpse of claws the size of butcher knives, eyes glowing with an unnatural hunger. David stumbles, his foot catching on a root. He cries out as he falls, his ankle twisting beneath him. The others spin around, their faces etched with terror. "David!" Jessica screams, rushing to his side. The growl erupts again, closer this time, shaking the ground beneath their feet. The stench of decay fills the air, choking them. Something is hunting them. Mark grabs Jessica's arm. "We have to go, now!" A monstrous shape explodes from the mist, a whirlwind of claws and teeth. Jessica screams as it descends upon her, her cries cut short by a sickening crunch. "Run!" Mark roars, pulling Anna along. They scramble back through the undergrowth, their eyes wide with terror. They don't look back, they don't stop running. But the sound of their pursuer is relentless, the heavy thud of its footsteps drawing closer. Trees blur, a dizzying kaleidoscope of green and grey. Breath rasps in their lungs, each beat of their hearts a hammer blow against their ribs. Fear lends them speed, but how long can they outrun a nightmare? Mark glances back. For a moment he thinks they've gained some distance. The mist muffles sound, distorts distance. Hope flickers in his chest. This way, he veers sharply, pulling Anna towards a cluster of massive boulders. Maybe, just maybe, they can find shelter. Anna stumbles, her face contorted with pain. "Mark, I can't." He pulls her along, his grip like iron. "We have to keep moving, it's our only chance." They scramble over the boulders, their hands raw, their lungs burning. They collapse behind the largest boulder, their bodies heaving. The mist swirls around them, a shroud for their terror. They listen, their breath held captive in their chests. But the only sound is the pounding of their own blood in their ears. Mark peers cautiously around the edge of the boulder. The mist has thinned slightly. "We lost it," Anna whispers, her voice hoarse. Mark shakes his head, his eyes scanning the surrounding trees. "Don't let your guard down. It's not over yet." A guttural roar rips through the silence, shattering their fragile peace. The sound seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. The creature is close, very close. Panic surges through them, cold and sharp as a shard of ice. They scramble to their feet, their eyes frantically searching for an escape. "This way!" Mark grabs Anna's hand, pulling her along a narrow gap between two boulders. They squeeze through the opening, their backpacks snagging on the rough edges of the rock. They emerge into a small enclosed clearing, the walls formed by towering boulders. The clearing is a dead end. There's nowhere left to run. They spin around, their backs pressed against the cold, damp rock, their eyes wide with terror. The mist parts, and the creature steps into the clearing. A hulking mass of muscle and bone, its eyes glowing with an unnatural hunger. Claws the size of their forearms gleam in the dim light, dripping with a viscous fluid. Mark raises his hunting knife, his grip tight, his knuckles white. Anna stands frozen beside him, her eyes fixed on the creature, her face a mask of terror. It takes a step closer, its eyes never leaving them, its jaws parting to reveal rows of razor-sharp teeth. The hunt is over. Adrenaline surges. Mark shoves Anna behind him. "Run!" he roars, his voice raw with terror. The creature lunges, a blur of claws and teeth. Mark barely has time to raise his knife before it's upon him. He cries out as claws rake across his chest, tearing through flesh and bone. Anna screams a high-pitched wail of pure terror. Mark crumples to the ground, his lifeblood staining the forest floor crimson. The creature towers over him, its jaws dripping with blood and gore. "Go!" Mark gasps, his voice a strangled whisper. "Don't look back, run!" Tears stream down Anna's face, blurring her vision. But she forces herself to look away from Mark's mangled body, forces herself to run, to honor his sacrifice. She stumbles over roots and rocks, her breath catching in her throat. The camera, still clutched in her hand, swings wildly, capturing fleeting, nightmarish glimpses of the forest as she flees. Branches whip at her face, tearing at her clothes, leaving bloody welts on her skin. But she doesn't slow down. The creature's roars echo behind her, shaking the very ground beneath her feet. It's toying with her, hunting her, savoring her terror. Anna bursts through a thicket of trees, her lungs burning, her legs screaming for mercy. She risks a glance over her shoulder. For a moment she thinks she's lost it. The mist has swallowed it whole. Then she sees it. A hulking silhouette moving through the trees, its eyes burning with an unholy light. It's gaining on her. Hope gutters, cold and faint as a dying ember. Anna stumbles into a clearing, her legs giving way beneath her. She falls to her knees, her chest heaving, her vision swimming. The creature stalks into the clearing, its massive form casting a long dark shadow across the forest floor. It circles her slowly, its eyes never leaving her, its jaws working silently, tasting her fear on the air. Anna cowers on the ground, her arms raised defensively. She knows it's over, there's nowhere left to run, no escape from the nightmare. The creature lowers its head, its hot, fetid breath washing over her. She can smell the blood on its breath, the stench of decay clinging to its fur. It opens its jaws wide, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth, stained crimson with the blood of her friends. Anna closes her eyes, a sob escaping her lips. This is it. This is how she dies. Alone and forgotten in the heart of a nightmare. Silence descends, heavy and absolute. Anna opens her eyes. The creature is gone. She sits, breath catching, heart pounding. The forest is silent, still. Only the wind whispers. She's alive, she's escaped. But at what cost? Anna stumbles to her feet, trembling. She picks up her camera, lens cracked, blood-stained. A gruesome memento. The forest stretches vast and indifferent, a place of beauty and terror where nightmares are real. Anna steps back, eyes searching, ears straining. The forest is silent, watching, waiting. She turns and flees, breath catching, screams echoing. She doesn't look back, doesn't dare. She knows the forest will never let her go. The forest stands, ancient, unyielding. The mist swirls, a shroud for the secrets buried beneath, whispers on the wind, a reminder of horrors past. The path is gone, swallowed by the undergrowth. Only the silence remains, broken by rustling leaves. The forest has claimed its victims, their laughter, their tears, all silenced now. Only their bones remain, scattered amongst the trees. The forest waits, patient, ever watching, for the next unwary soul to wander from the path, to become another victim of its embrace, another offering to its insatiable appetite. The silence is a lie. The forest is never truly silent, always listening, always watching. The mist swirls, obscuring the setting sun. Darkness falls and the forest sleeps, but its nightmares are just beginning.